Page 22, Jingle-Bell Rock. 4/4 time. Let's go over this. Got eighth notes all over the place and dotted rhythms, and let's just cover this rhythm very carefully and very slowly. At the beginning in the right hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Never mind about that asterisk thingy. We'll come back to that. Just 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. See, that E is tied. Hang on to it. Third measure. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Bring the third finger down. Then second line, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Second line, second measure. You have a tied E. Careful. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So you got to hold these tied notes down. You know, if they're bothering you, take out the tie first. 1 and 2. You can play all the notes until you get that, and then put the tie back in. Just hang on to that one note. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 3. Third line, G sharps. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. D sharps there, and then you repeat and do that stuff again. Let's go down third line, last measure, the second ending. Come up to 3/2, and then F natural. Last line. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. See that C, the chord with the C, F, A, C? That comes in between those two quarter notes in the left hand. You can see it comes. So it's 1 and 2 and. Comes on the end of 2. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. What's that rhythm? If you don't want to put a thumb on that, you'll have to do it this way. And then an eighth note going on. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then you tie that over, and then on the fourth beat you go on 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4. So you have to watch this rhythm very carefully. I might be going a bit fast for you, but you can go really super slow. And then third line, you got to come way up here. E, C. It's like it was at the beginning, you're just an octave higher. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's what you're doing throughout here. And the next measure, you fourth finger on the here, and then you go here. On the fourth line, second measure, that is a C natural there. That C sharp in the first measure is only good for that measure. So here it's C natural. But in the last measure, that A flat's good for the whole measure. So then the half note, that's still an A flat. And then last line, 1 and 2. You can do that F sharp with the second finger if you want. 1 and 2. And that's an F natural because it has a natural sign on it. And then the same thing an octave higher. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. That last chord comes on the end of 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The left hand will help you out a little bit there. Speaking of left hand, keep this left hand light and you can kind of separate it. Don't accent it, just separate it. 1. And all you're doing is broken chords. Last line on page 22, watch out rhythm. 1 and 2. When I get notes in the bass line that go up or down one key at a time, I tend to connect them. And then the others I'll separate it. That's just an interpretive thing. You can do it however you want. They don't say anything, so it's up to you on how you want to interpret it. But that's how I typically do it. So in that first measure in that last line on page 22, I would connect those. And then I would separate the others. At the top of page 23, it's a staccato. and then you do all that again, you have some more fun. Now for the left hand at the beginning of this, and the finger number, they show a 3 and then there's a 2 in parentheses. Well, why is that? I'm glad you asked, I'll tell you. When you start it, start with third finger, because this is your position you want to be in. This is the chord. We're just not using the E, so we're here, so start with third finger. But when you get down to the third line and you repeat it back up, your second finger is going to play that note, and that's what the 2 is for. We're just telling you, you're going to use second finger, and then you just reach up, and that puts you in position now where you need to be. You just read. That's all. So very slowly you put them together. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and up there and do it all again. What I'm hoping you're not doing is just waiting for me to play it and you'll copy me. I would really prefer you be able to sit down and figure out the music yourself, so please try and do this yourself first. I'm doing this to help clarify in case you guess wrong. Is that it? Get it a little off on the rhythm. So that's all this is for. So on the third line down on the second ending, we're here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4. At the top of page 23, that is an accent and a staccato on both hands. So it's short and you give it a little extra oomph on there. Now this arrangement did that. They all don't do that, but this one did it, so okay, we'll do that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3. You see in the first line, last measure, how the hands come together? They're together, and then the right hand plays in between the left hand notes. In between them, 1 and 2 and 3. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3. So third line, last measure, it's 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. The last two measures, slowly. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the last chord both hands are playing at the same time. There's one little tricky hand movement in here I want to talk about. Over on page 23. At the end of the second line, going into the third line, your right hand is here at the end of the second line. At the beginning of the third line, you got to be up here. There's no rest. There's no time. Just go straight from here. You may have to practice that move. You have to cut that half note a little bit short, not much, just a little bit, no more than you have to get up there. Just make sure you're up there in time. So the last measure is here. It's like when I play the B, I did a rest in the right hand so I can get it up there where it needs to go. So it's the end of a phrase. They don't have the phrasing marked in here, but if you read the words, you can see it's the end of a phrase, and you can lift up and take that time when you lift up to move here. So it's just up there. Take a little time to get up there. Dynamic, again, you can do whatever you want with the dynamics pretty much. They give you a few little things. If you want to try that out, you go ahead. That applies to the melody at the beginning. So that's medium loud, whatever that is. Keep the left hand soft. Then when you get over to page 23, second line, you get that crescendo in the last two. You're going to go up to a loud, and then you're going to come back down. So the second line is here. That's where you're headed. Bop, 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 bom. That's where you want to go. Then you come back down where you were. And this is the melody. That's what we want to hear. Then at the end of the third line, you can crescendo up to a loud again. We come up to that here. That's where you're after. And then you come back down. And you basically stay there till the end. The last line, the first measure is medium loud, sort of. The second measure, bring it down to about a medium soft, just a little softer. And the next measure, back up to medium loud, and then crescendo to a loud. And the last line and the last chords, loud with an accent. That sort of makes them very loud. That's all it is on the piano. But you can alter these dynamics after you get to know them. Do it like it's written first, and then you can, how do you feel it based on what the words are saying and what the music is doing. This is, they say moderato, and you can find recordings of the Jingle-Bell Rock. And there is a note at the bottom on page 22 where we can swing these eighth notes. Generally this is a more of a rock style, swing style type thing, swing style. Because then you do it this way, swing the eighth notes. Just the eighth notes, nothing else. See, ba 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 ba. So the counting is, instead of 1 and 2 and, it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. There's no notation for this. You have to feel this. It's not a dotted rhythm. It's not a triplet. And the short note can be shorter in some instances than others. How do you feel it? So that's how we do it. And that's what I want to do with the Play With Me. I want to take it really, really slow, but I want to swing the eighth notes. So let's try that out very slowly and see what happens, just to check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to try and do dynamics or nothing. So I'll give us 4 counts since it's in 4/4 time. Go ahead and put your hands where they go, here and here. 1, 2, ready and go, and 1.